Hello, everyone. Welcome to Weekend Sports, and we're talking Tigers getting into the season. Spring training starts this weekend. Uniforms officially released. It was what we suspected them to be. On top of, we're going to go over what we think the team might look like this year. For the most part, it should look similar, but there's a few holes that we got to go over. First off, I guess we can't touch the jerseys. It was what we thought they were, the navy and the orange. Though the navy, as I also did predict, but I'm sad to say, is the rolled alternate, not a home alternate.
Is that navy or black?
Navy.
Really? Okay.
It's like the shirts you buy at Meijer. I hate how people don't realize that. If you have ever gone to Meijer and bought one of the jersey shirts, it's that shirt, just with stripes on it.
Oh no! I mean, I
have two of them.
I like that they incorporated more orange in the white pants. That all looks.
It has an orange stripe. Both pants have an orange and navy stripe because they're going to be wearing gray pants with the navy jersey, which we'll see how it looks. But they'll have an orange and navy stripe on it to go with.
No, I like it. But I like the different things. It's good to.
So people complaining again. The most I can complain about the navy is it's literally the shirt you can buy at Meijer. It's nothing different. It's literally nothing different.
For me personally, I always love that old English D with the tiger coming through it, but they ain't gonna do that.
Most people don't want that for a jersey, but they seem they might start leaning into the patch of like it looks like the '80s tiger, except it's the modern tiger head. But the '80s
one? Oh, that's kind of cool.
It's the '80s logo.
The one that used to roar after the games when you lost.
Well, it was the cocaine tiger head from the '80s. They replaced that with the modern tiger, but they have that logo. It says Detroit Tigers with the tiger head on it. They might start leaning. They might start leaning into that more, but we'll see where it ends up going. Spring training does start this week. They have their first game actually on national television on March 2nd against Atlanta. Will be the first game you could actually watch. There's been nothing announced yet on where they will be at TV-wise yet this year. Besides on MLB.TV for streaming purposes. I have not yet seen a subscription for it. So I can't even tell you whether or not you can get it yet because I've tried to see how much it'll be and they haven't announced that yet. So so far you still can't watch them anywhere. But they'll figure it out sooner rather than later.
They will.
But spring training does start. It's going to be interesting to kind of see how it goes. I was looking over the roster while I was at work this week just to see like how does our team actually spread itself out. When you look at the depth charts and who's going to be where, I basically see one open positioning, maybe two, depending on how spring training goes. Dylan Dingler and Jake Rogers are going to be your catchers, no doubt about it. You can't question that.
Great combo.
Your infield should consist of Torkelson, Torres, probably Colt Keith - Zach McKinstry on the left side. Colt Keith probably playing third. Zach McKinstry playing short. If Javi's not playing short. Personally, I would put Javi at short. But depending on what you want. Right now, I'd rather have Javi Baez in center field. Which is where a lot of your players are actually sitting at. It would be Riley Green, Parker Meadows, Wenzel Perez, Kerry Carpenter, and Matt Vierling sitting right there are what I consider your locks for the team. Because, Baez can play anywhere in the infield, so he's good. Vierling can play almost anywhere in the infield. I just wouldn't probably put him at short. And then McKinstry can play anywhere in the infield. So you have your backup infielders. Which puts you at, I believe, 12 people on the offensive side. If I did my math correct with that, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think it's 12 people on your infield currently. When you look at your pitching staff, which they actually have finally updated to this year, you have Tarek Skubal, Valdez, Flaherty, Verlander, Mize as your pitching staff right now. There's 5. Will Vest, Finnegan, Holton, Herder, Hannafy, Jansen. That gets you up to 11 currently that they have involving your bullpen. Outside of that, when you go to your roster, you can kind of figure out who your other one, who they didn't have there in your depth chart. Make sure. I think the only one on there that they didn't have there would probably be Bo Brisky. Which is probably the one sitting, I think, in your bullpen out. That or Sawyer Gibson Long would probably be one of your two that you're sitting there because personally, I don't want to bring up Milton unless you're using him as only a bullpen arm. And same thing with Montero. Unless you're planning on using them as only bullpen arms for the future, I'd rather keep them in Toledo as starters and have their arms used to starting roles and not in the line of bullpen pitching. Mm-hmm. So that brings you the question, who do you want on your team? Do you want to go with 13 pitchers or do you want to go with 13 bats? That's where your question lies right now. 24 is what I counted, like I said. So here's your options for your lineup this year. Trey Sweeney is your 25th man on the team. I don't want Trey Sweeney as a 25th man on the team. He had a good year a couple of years ago when we first called him up. He played well. He was iffy last year. I think a good full year in AAA might be good for him if you're looking at him as any future prospect. Other option of guy who was on team last year who could be on the team this year is Jahmani Jones. Problem with Jahmani Jones is he doesn't really play defense that much. He's more or less just an extra DH guy to bat righty when you don't want Kerry Carpenter batting lefty.
Right.
In those situations. He has played outfield. He can play the outfield just like Kerry Carpenter, but do you need 7 outfielders on your roster? Is the next question you put yourself in with that. Though, again, you have a lot of people who can play a lot of different infield positions, so it kind of doesn't matter. So that's when you go into your next question. Do you want McConkel on the team? Do you want Max Clark on the team? Personally, I don't want either on the team unless they're starting.
Right.
I don't want them sitting on the bench. I kind of
agree with that, but let's see how well they do in spring training. I don't think, like I said, I do think that you have a couple people who would not mind getting rid of if we could get a better bat. And that's Colt Keith and Zach McKinstry. If you can get a third baseman that can hit better.
That's where you look at right now. If Colt Keith can play good defensive third base and bat well this year, you're not going to worry about it. And then your only question mark is shortstop. But then you don't have a question mark at shortstop because you play out Baez's contract, and then you bring up McConkel next year.
Well,
that's how that's going to work. Do not rush these processes. You're playing with money right now.
Right.
Baez had a good year last year. Let McConkel play a lot more in AAA. Get himself used. I'd rather have him blow out AAA than sit on the bench in the majors.
It surprises me, too. I want to bring up something because I've heard this. More people are wanting to deal Riley Green. The guy had 111 RBIs.
The problem is that people...
The guy had near 40 home runs?
Yes, but he also led the league in strikeouts.
I don't give a crap.
Personally, I'd rather keep...
40 home runs and 111 RBIs.
I'd rather keep Riley Green. Personally, out of all the outfielders who I'm trading, if I'm trading one of our bigger guys, it's Kerry Carpenter.
You better get something good for him. I like Kerry Carpenter.
Because he's had injury trouble.
He has injury trouble.
That's the only reason I would trade Kerry out of the three of them.
If you can get a hell of a bat or
that's what I'm saying. Out of the three of them. Personally, if I'm getting rid of an outfielder, it's Parker Meadows. That's the one guy I'm getting rid of.
Parker Meadows, Zach McKinstry.
I like Wenzel Perez. He's a switch hitter. And I think a good, full, healthy year from Wenzel Perez, he could hit 30 home runs.
Honestly, if they do nothing else than what they've done, I think we should be pretty impressed by the fact that we, for years, have been complaining our GMs don't go out and spend money. We got a hell of a starting rotation.
You do. You have a great starting rotation.
If they stay healthy, we got a hell of a starting rotation.
Guys, I would tell you to look for through spring training to see who potentially is on a chopping block. The big guy for me is Matt Vierling. I have a guy you think is safe.
Right.
Matt Vierling would be the guy we look to. If he doesn't have a good spring, he might not be on the team.
If they could deal Colt Keith for somebody who has got a better bat and plays third.
Colt Keith would be. I don't think Colt Keith is near a chopping block. I don't think Zach McKinstry is unless he has like an abominable spring. He would have to have a terrible, like a unheard of bad spring.
Finished the year last year. Was he decent?
I believe he batted over 250. I would have to hold on. Okay. Let me click on him. And we can get your exact. 256, 13 home runs, and 45 RBIs. I
don't think that's great, but it's not horrible. So, I mean, he's still very young.
He is.
So, I mean, he'll be like Spencer Torkelson in his third, fourth year.
It was his first full year in the majors. Well, his second full year because he played second base the other year. again, we're trying to figure out where we want him. He would be a guy again to. You have a lot of young guys coming up. Again, when you look at,
that's what I'm saying. We really don't. If they do nothing else, I'll still be happy.
It's all.
I mean,
here's your issue with Keith. I don't see us getting rid of Keith because I see him playing second base next year, not this year. I don't think we're going to keep on signing Torres to 1-year deals. So probably once McConaughey's ready to come up, you let Torres walk. Cole Keith goes back to second base, and hopefully, like Hao-Yu Lee, he's ready to play, and he'll probably play third. If not, he'll probably end up playing second base because that's where he's at right now.
And what's the story on Dylan Dingler? Is his injury going to keep him out of spring training?
I didn't see anything major about his injury.
I didn't think he was going to be ready for the spring training.
Let me see if something is popping up. What the heck? He was in transactions. I remember seeing it before. For some reason. Okay, they're not saying anything about his injury on here. Of course they're not. Let's see if I didn't mean to press that. Let me see if I can find something about his injury. I didn't really see much. It didn't seem like it was a major injury, at least from what I saw. It's an elbow, and he's been doing throwing progression. It's been part of all other baseball activities.
Throwing arm.
Yeah.
Well, that's
maybe. I don't know. Regardless, it doesn't seem like it's affecting his at least practice. So they're probably just not trying to be majorly concerned on what's going on right now. This seems to be what my guess
I don't think
to
you're
be.
going to see him in spring training much.
Probably not if they're trying to nurse an elbow injury, and that might not be the greatest thing for us to start the year. But again, it's kind of just looking at overall, how is your lineup going to play out? Who do you want to see where versus when? Again, I think for the most part, you have the same team as you had last year. You have one spot that's open depending on who you want, whether it's Trey Sweeney or whether it's Jamani Jones right now. From people who've been on the team before, a wild card from people who've been on the team before would be Chase Young. But I don't think Chase Young's going to see the MLB anytime soon until he gets that back on. And going consistently.
Right. But like you said, we got a lot of young kids coming up.
Got a lot of young guys coming up. And it's just playing the money. Trust me, I would love to see Max Clark and Kevin McConaughey up. But at the same time, with who you have on the team, you don't have room for them. Right. You don't have room for them. So you got to get rid of people.
Beat these guys out, like you said, and they're going to play.
You have to make room. So, yes, Max Clark, he has amazing spring, and Parker Meadows absolutely shits the bed. Yeah, trade Parker Meadows, Max Clark starting center fielder come opening day.
I'm looking forward to that. I kind of hope that
Parker Meadows has an average spring. Letson Perez has a decent spring. Don't expect to see Max Clark come up unless there's an injury. That's all I have to say. And same thing goes with shortstop. You have Javi. You have Zach McKinstry. And technically Trey Sweeney probably will end up playing over McConaughey unless, again, something happens. That's probably what will happen. Trey Sweeney, for some reason, will play over McConaughey. Well, again, unless some unheardly thing happens, don't expect McConaughey on this team. I get it. I would love to see these guys, but if you're not going to give them consistent work, why put them on the team?
Right. I agree.
Trey Sweeney wasn't a top prospect when we called him up. He was someone we got in a trade, who was in the middle of the road. We were like, we need a bat, and he did okay. Right? Same situations you're running in. Jace Jung, he was the top guy, but we don't really need him on the team. And when we have had him on the team, he hasn't played well. So, do not rush anybody into these things. Let's just go with what we have. As the openings happen, fill them in. Javi's contract falls off after next year. He'll be gone. You're going to probably have that opening. And again, I probably would put McConaughey over there to play consistently over Zach McKinstry and Trey Sweeney. Between the two of them. Personally, if that's who we have next year too.
Right. I like I said, I think we're in a really good spot. We're in the weak division.
A weak division.
We can allow these kids to develop. We don't have to rush anybody.
You have depth everywhere.
Yep.
Everywhere. Pitching, fielding. Again, you have about 8 different people who can play the outfield.
I'm looking for when's our first game in spring training?
Saturday. Tomorrow.
This Saturday?
Tomorrow.
Woo!
They start tomorrow. Their first game on television will be on ESPN on March 2nd.
Like 6 weeks of spring training, right? Something like that.
First game's March 26th. We got like a month.
Is it March? Yeah, we got like a month. Man.
A little over a month until the first game. So you're almost there.
I'm excited.
Again, things that, like I said, before we go, just quick sum up. Things to look for. Matt Vierling, will he have a good spring? Will that open up an extra spot? Who will get that extra spot? Because I don't think it's a given for Trey Sweeney. I don't think it's a given for Jamani Jones.
No.
It's not a given for either one of those.
I think
it has to be
the more
earned.
I look at this team, I say, let's see what the young kids are going to do. And if they don't do it, you got them in the background. You got them playing down at Toledo. You can bring them up anytime. And I think the guys we got are solid. We have a solid, deep team.
And that's the problem. Right now, McConkel and Max Clark are not on the 40-man roster. Right. So that means for them to be on the team, you are designating someone for assignment. So
who do you like better in center field?
Javi.
Or
Javi.
As a fielder and everything else.
Yeah.
Well, geez, let's get rid of Parker.
At the moment, I think personally the best lineup would still have Javi at short. And personally, I like Wenzel Perez as a center fielder also. But at the same time, you can play him in right. Carpenter can go the short, can play DH.
I guess I'm just trying to force this kid up to come up and play short for us and stuff. So Javi can play.
Personally, Javi could play. I'd rather have Javi in center over Parker Meadows with how he played last year. Parker Meadows is a faster runner, though. He brings a different dynamic to the team.
Is this Javi's last year?
I think it's his last year.
Okay.
It's either this year or next year's his last year of his contract.
And then Mad Max could come up.
So you could have Max Clark. Or, again, probably more likely Kevin McConkel comes up before Max Clark.
Okay.
Again, you got to figure out who you want to keep, who you don't. Your outfield is full. You have Carpenter playing DH. So that means Riley Green is playing left. Which means if you love Parker Meadows as much as you do, he's playing center. And then you got Wenzel Perez in right. So if Wenzel Perez has a bad year, guess who's probably going to replace him? Max Clark. If Parker Meadows has a bad year, guess who's probably going to replace him? Max Clark. Both Parker Meadows and Perez have to have a good year this year in order for their jobs to stay safe. Riley Green's safe. Carpenter's safe.
Right. Okay.
But this is the year for Meadows and Perez to say, hey, don't get rid of me. Or to up their trade value so they can be put on a decent team. Because if Max Clark is on his way, one of those two is not staying. One of them is not. And again, personally, I like Perez more than Meadows because Perez can bat both sides of the plate.
Right.
And there's not many switch hitters nowadays.
Okay. Something to look forward to, guys. Tomorrow starts spring training, or spring season.
It is spring training. You're right.
Spring training, whatever. Exhibition games start tomorrow. Baseball's back.
So they'll be playing.
And soon the warm weather will follow. It's freezing outside. I hate this weather.
It's only 34.
It's so cold.
Yeah, they'll be on they'll have one game on ESPN March 2nd throughout spring training, a bunch on MLB TV, one on MLB Network, it looks like, or a couple on MLB Network. One on ESPN Unlimited. If you have ESPN Unlimited, they'll be playing New York at the end before they end their spring training on March 24th before the regular season starts. So we'll keep up on the news with everything that happens. So they'll end up, playing earlier than usual, but we'll see what happens. If you like what you see, like, comment, subscribe, let us know what you think about the Tigers, what they should be doing throughout spring training. Until next time.